Tons of cosplayers sell photo prints of their cosplay work online or at conventions or both. And if you wish to join their ranks, there are some things you should probably know first. So today I'm going to talk you through the basics of selling cosplay prints. First things first, you can't sell something that isn't yours, so here is an extremely watered down version of photography copyright. The photographer owns the rights to every photo that they shoot. So if a photographer takes a photo of you, you do not own that photo, your photographer does. And you can't sell things that don't belong to you, that's stealing. So what you need is permission from the photographer to sell their photo. Ideally, you want that permission in written form to super protect your butt, and that is referred to as a print release. Some photographers will provide print releases for free, and others will charge for them. Some will want a percentage of your sales, some would prefer a flat fee, and others will want something in between. It's all up to each individual photographer. So in short, before you can sell prints of a photo, talk to your photographer about it. And if you shoot your own photos, then great, you can do whatever you want with them. As for the actual printer, you will need to find a printer with good prices and good quality, and then you will need to choose the details of your prints. Personally, I recommend looking into local printers first before you look into chains like Staples or FedEx or online sources like Vistaprint. I have found that local printers tend to have really good pricing, and if by any chance a chain beats their pricing, a lot of local printers will match that price if you request it. Using a local printer instead of an online source also means that you can physically go into the business and check out a proof of your work to make sure that it looks good before you shell out for dozens or hundreds of them. Plus, of course, you get to support local business. Yay! Standard print size is letter-sized paper, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. The actual printable area is closer to 8 by 10, which is how you will see many cosplayers refer to this size. I believe everywhere except for the US and Canada they call this paper size A4. This size is great for online sales because you can easily fit one of those prints into a document mailer. Any bigger than that, it becomes harder to find envelopes and shipping prices go way up. At conventions, a lot of cosplayers have good luck with 11 by 17 prints, which are more like a poster size, and some cosplayers offer 4 by 6 or postcard size prints. These can be good to tempt people at conventions who aren't quite ready to spend a lot of money, and they also lend themselves well to being packaged in sets like 3 for $10. As for finish, I personally prefer a matte finish, but a lot of cosplayers do glossy as well. It's mostly just up to you and what you prefer. If you want your prints to actually be 8 by 10 instead of 8.5 by 11, you can have your printer cut off the white borders. There is usually an extra charge for that, and again, that is just up to you and your aesthetic preference. Now for the hard part, pricing. Pricing prints can be really daunting because it's so easy to undervalue your own work. And if you're only paying like $1 to have a print actually made, it can feel crazy to charge $10 for it. I mean, if those are the only two numbers you're looking at, you're making a margin of more than 90%. But slow down, Speed Racer, because the cost of paper and ink are not the only things to take into account when you're pricing prints. For example, did you pay your photographer for the shoot? Did you have to rent studio space? Did you spend gas or time traveling to the location? Did you pay for print rights? Did your costume magically appear out of thin air, or did you spend money on materials and equipment to make it? What about makeup and wig styling tools? And what about the years of expertise that you have built up to be capable of making cosplays like these? People aren't just paying for paper and ink. Instead, they are paying for you, for your expertise and your experience and your skill. Most cosplayers that I have seen price their 8 by 10 prints between $8 and $15. I don't think it would be crazy to go as low as $5 if you're getting a good deal on the prints. If you aren't sure how well your prints are going to sell, picking a price point that's too high might make it hard to gauge interest. But just in general, you should be prepared to change your print prices if at any time it seems like they aren't right. So where should you sell them? There are two main places to sell prints, online and at conventions. I can tell you unequivocally that you will get way more print sales at cons than online, at least at first. People at cons are in the vendor room with their wallet half open already. They are there to shop, they're prepared to spend money, and they can have you sign the print right in front of their eyes. Of course, selling prints online isn't impossible, but it'll take a lot more work to turn it into a decent source of income. You can sell prints through almost any e-commerce website, however, most of them have limits in place on their free accounts, such as how many products you can offer, how customizable your shop page is, stuff like that. I see a lot of cosplayers use Shopify or Store Envy for their prints. Personally, I use my own website. If you have your own website and it is capable of e-commerce, this will be by far your most customizable option. I use Squarespace and I am very happy with their e-commerce capabilities. Of course, I pay for that, so that's something to think about. So how do you get people to buy them? This is the eternal question. Unfortunately, there is no checklist or certificate that proves that you are ready for print sales. It depends on everything from your audience size and demographics to the ease of navigation of your website, to the quality of your costumes, to the popularity of the characters you're cosplaying. Basically, there are a million reasons that people may or may not buy your prints. For this reason, I recommend only opening up print sales periodically at first and for limited times, and making sure that your audience knows this. This will create a sense of urgency around purchases, like, oh, if I don't buy it now, I might not get to buy it at all. This might push people who are on the fence into choosing to make a purchase. For almost a year, I only opened print sales quarterly and only for a week at a time. I would recommend doing something like that until you are selling at least a dozen or so prints every time you open up your shop. As a final note, I just want to say, if you can't get print sales off the ground, don't feel too bad about it. Print sales are really challenging. I didn't see much success with them really until very recently. There's no shame in trying them out, and then if they're not working well, maybe setting them aside and focusing on building your audience more before you try again. So there you have it, all the basic information about print sales. I hope it was helpful, and good luck with selling your own prints. If you're looking for more videos about professional cosplay and making money off your cosplay, you can check out some of my other videos. I have a bunch of them about stuff like this, and also you should subscribe to me, which you can do by clicking my face, and I'm going to put my face over here so you can click it and subscribe for more videos in the future, because that's how subscriptions work.